Hello everyone, Mercs here. This is now episode 11 of our Enigmatica 6 Expert playthrough. Take a quick look around and see some things I've done. I guess the first thing I'll show off is the elevator, or the dumbwaiter, is more complete now. Maybe fully complete. We can see that I've removed the scaffolding here, and if I come in, we have a wireless signal attached to that button, which will activate our elevator to take us up. And here it is at the top. And if we want to go back down the dumbwaiter, we hit the button again, which activates the signal, and we can go back down. Let's take a look real quick and see how this works. And I'll also show you, I have a light gray elevator over here. So there is still a ladder to the basement over here, but I can use this elevator block, whoosh, to go up and down between my basement and my main floor. So what did I do for our elevator system? And yes, of course, these are faster than the dumbwaiter, but the dumbwaiter is maybe a little more fun. So if you remember, I used to have a lever right here that I would flip, and that would let me go up or down, but of course we couldn't access we could not access the lever from like the second floor. So we used that wireless redstone system, and here it is. This is now set to receive, and we have a button set for our frequency. And when this gets a signal, this is a T flip-flop, okay? So what that means is this signal right now, it looks to me, actually let's grab our pen real quick. If I hold shift, we can see it's 0. You see that? So this is not powered right now. But when we hit the button, this little contraption flips the signal from off to on. So how does this work exactly? Well, it's maybe slightly complex, but the key notes are when we power from our wireless system over here, it sends a signal in, and these all have a little bit of a delay to them, and this sends a signal out, and it comes over here, and this will either like keep the system on or keep it off, basically, and that output is also redirected over to our gear shift. So, we've got two cool things to show off there. And then if I come upstairs, you might notice this looks a little different. Since I decided not to use the facades and everything because I saw some performance issues, I have now moved our pipe down a little bit. And if we come take a look over here, you can see I've laid in stone everywhere so you don't see dirt or anything like that from the main floor. Everything is basically still hooked up the same way it was before. Where we have a pipe going this way to route over here, and the same pipe is connected right here underneath these blocks and goes this way. I've also added a lot more overflow chests, because I needed them, right? These were our overflow chests over here, and they have filled up, right? Turns out these things here aren't even sorted for anything, and I probably still will go through the overflow at some point and pick out certain things, like, oh, maybe we need a chest like here just for thermal series items. But for now, just having a generic sort of everything can land in here is great, because for the most part, I'm not actually pulling items out of the chests. I come here and I just say, hey, I need something from thermal. Oh, look, here's our thermal series things. Great. And then I just pull them out from here. It's that simple. You may also remember that the logs outside had a problem. Every time I came out here, there was a huge mess because logs were all over the place. And what was happening? Our system in the basement was requesting a log. It would try to come out of this chest. It would go through the system. It would hit the furnace in the basement, and then it would say, oh, I've got too many items. And it would try to spit it back, and then it couldn't. And so like it would just puke it out on the ground here. I have resolved this. How did I do it? Well, first off, we notice that this right here just doesn't have any sort of filter on it, but the one over here does. I've upgraded it to a high extraction module. So the high extraction module, if we remember, it says high tiers prevent oversending. And it's true, it really does. I've used a high extraction there. Oh, we can just see an item just went back in because it had too many. But right here, so the high extraction will fill this up, But it will also send down below. But down below, we've done one additional thing, and that is on here, I have a high retrieval as well. So now, when this only needs like one log, it specifically is only asking, like, hey, give me one log, so we don't get a whole backup and a lot of things go shoving back. And if you remember, we had the same problem with the charcoal, and this is now a high extraction module. So when this runs out of a single piece of charcoal, in fact, I'll just grab a couple out right now, it only took exactly what it needed. It didn't try to grab any more. Nothing bounced back. So those do work. I haven't seen anything pop out of the pipes since then. All right. I kind of wanted to use this today. However, we're still in our gearing up phase, I think, for conduit creation. I was kind of planning to make a few conduits in between episodes because I was maybe a little frustrated with the process and how many conduits we actually needed. But I have since come up with a slightly different idea of how about we build our lightning altar. This lightning altar will facilitate the additional crafting of conduits that we need to do. And I may not have explained what this lightning altar is, but the lightning altar is something that I'm going to build. It's not a tool. It doesn't come out of a mod anywhere. It's going to use some, old-fashioned redstone and pistons, and it's going to be fun. And I'm going to set it up somewhere in the village. I'm kind of thinking maybe right over here. We'll clear out some of this mess and set it up. So, with that, I have this backpack set up, and I want to build it out of like marble, and the limestone is kind of a close color to the marble, so we're gonna use that a little bit. So right before, there's one more thing. I almost forgot about it. Someone in the comments, very thankful for you, because if you remember, let's take a look real quick at our quest log here. In the quest log, we also wanted to make some gold inlays, and they require arcane gold, and I didn't have enough for the... we need 3 of these. I didn't have enough to make 3, I only had enough to make the 2. And how do you make this? Well, you need to use enchanting apparatus with either conduits or source. So, we weren't ready to even be able to make these. But I somehow had a few of those, and I'm not really sure where I got them, but... it was informed to me that you can actually find them occasionally in these towers right here. So these are towers, and they have books in them, and there's always a chest at the top. Well, they have a chance to have arcane gold in it. So if we just come back over here real quick, and I already know that I'm gonna need some. Look, now we've got 9. We're gonna go ahead and request 8. Because 8 will be enough for the craft that we needed to do. 1 and 2. Perfect. We now have them. I'm just going to throw them back in the storage for now. But when we need them, they're in there, ready to go. So without further ado, let's go build our lightning altar. we now have the basic structure of what I was thinking for a lightning altar kind of created here. We can see over here I used some limestone, which is a slightly different color than the marble. I was kind of feeling like this section over here is going to be more used, more traveled. And in fact, I might even switch some of this wall out for limestone, but for now it can stay marble. Also, you know, I didn't realize, I did a little testing. I didn't realize, but villagers cannot open these gates. So I can put like a gate over here on my wall and whatnot, instead of just jumping over the wall all the time. But so the basic concept here is anything that we want to craft, we're going to drop in this hole. And then when we drop it in the hole, we're going to come back here and we're going to push a button. And this is going to do our crafts for us. But we need to set that up because it's not going to work out of the box. So here we go. Underground. And we got to test some things out here. And I have some stone bricks on me because I would like to, if I can, run everything on the stone brick. Just so it's a little safer. Let's go ahead and place some things down. So thing one, this. And actually, you know what? We're probably going to break this real quick. Maybe even the next one. No, there we go. Okay, perfect. So this test here was to say, hey, can this power through the block down here like that? Which it can, which is great. Okay, so we should put our marble slab back. Bloop. And then we're going to run this redstone line over here. And right now, right, we can see that there's just a big hole here. But it won't be just a big hole for very long. Step one, we're going to get a sticky piston right here. And this sticky piston is going to hold a block here at like all times. So let's get another like marble block out, you know, and I kind of want just like polished marble. There we go. Polished marble will go here, and what we need to do is, since we want this always activated, I'm clearing out just a little bit of space so we have some room. But we want a NOT gate set up. And you know what? I am going to need a few more things. I'll be right back. Okay, I've grabbed a few more items. And what we're doing here is we're setting up a little signal to go right there. And this is our NOT gate, right? So when there is a signal coming from here, this should always be active, and the signal will disable this, meaning it will pull the sticky piston back. And we can simulate that by just doing this. Right, and so what this is going to do is it's going to let items drop through, and that's the important bit, and we're going to want maybe a little bit more of a hole, maybe even more than that. Something probably closer to this, but that's good for now. Let's run the rest of our redstone. All right, and we're going to want some redstone repeaters, and what are these for? And I'm even going to put them on max delay. What these are for is so that when we hit the switch, two things are going to happen. Because this block here isn't actually going to be a marble block. It is instead going to be a dispenser. You might be able to figure out what's going to happen here. Oh, that's not where I want it. I think I might have to fall in the hole real quick. But I will spoil the surprise. The dispenser is going to dispense our lightning arrows. I'm going to set that right there. Perfect. And I'm going to load in some normal arrows just for the time being. Pop up like that and break that one. Okay. We need to do two things. We need to route our power into this repeater. I think we're going to have to break that again, of course. There. Here. You know what? I said repeater, didn't I? It's not a repeater, is it? It is a dispenser. Gonna run straight up here, and it's gonna run right into there, and then it's also gonna run off this way and go into this. So, what should happen when we hit that button is the power is gonna come down here, and the very first thing it's gonna do is it's gonna hit this dispenser, which should shoot an arrow. Now remember, we want lightning arrows, not normal arrows, but we're just gonna test it a few times. The power will also diverge right here, and it's gonna hit this redstone repeater. And it's set for a delay of 4 ticks, and this one's also 4 ticks. So we're going to have 8 ticks in total. That's going to wait, and then it's going to trigger the sticky piston to retract. And when it's done, it'll put the sticky piston and the block back. So let's go ahead, and I heard the arrow shoot. There it is, and we saw everything kind of move. Do it again. Look at that. Look at that. Okay, so if this was a lightning arrow, and we threw our items in, so let's say, you know, we're going to make another Heart of the Sea, I'm going to throw, or sorry, another conduit, I'm going to, like, throw my Nautilus shells in and everything else, and we're going to hit the button, and it's going to zap. And actually, I think we really want to stand back here so we don't get hit by the lightning. And then any item that's in there, right, we'll just kind of demonstrate with those blocks. It's going to fall through. So we need a collection system down here. See? Everything's just down here waiting. I feel like the easiest collection system is probably just to throw a hopper onto this chest and then put some blocks around here to make sure the items can't fall out. Makes sense to me anyways. Probably like that. The thing is, though, we are going to want to get them out of here. And to do so, I am going to run some pipe. Oh, and you know what? Before we go any further, let's go ahead and put a low extraction on there. We might upgrade this from low to high later on, but for now, we will just use this low extraction to route our items out. And I guess we need to discern where we want these items to route to. Probably right next to where you hit the button, right? Makes sense to me. So let's go ahead and just dig our hole real quick. Oh, probably like right here, honestly. That's not a bad spot. Okay, and then we'll put our chest right here. We'll go back under and route the pipe. We might need to alter our stairs slightly. Okay, so that is now routed. You know, that's fine. That's totally fine. We'll leave it how it is. I'm probably not really gonna ever be going down there, so we'll just kind of do that for now. I had some other plans that this angled slabs and everything that are slopes, framed slopes, I might run these all the way around, give it a different effect. But for now, these are just used for coming up. So if we look now, there should be nothing in this chest. I'll go ahead and throw a couple items in to simulate the craft that we would do. I would hit the button, the piston would open, the items would fall through, and then eventually, right, they're going to route up here. Now, they're not going to be super fast because we only have the low tier and we don't have any speed modules on here. But we should be seeing the items coming up through. In fact, I can just barely see them through the crack. Here they come. So yeah, we might want to speed that up. It is a little slow. And I also might want to get rid of that dirt down there and the grass. Just because it's not nice to be able to see it through here. But here are our items. They're back. Let's make 3 more Heart of the Seas. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, great. So we have 12 Nautilus shells, 3 source gems, 6 fluorite, 6 lapis, and 3 Hearts of the Sea. And this should allow us to do 3 crafts. I would do more than 3, but I'm out of Nautilus shells. These are my last 12 Nautilus shells. So we will have to go get more very soon. But for now, let's go test our lightning altar. And before we can actually use it, I guess I should not have blocked this up yet, but we need to prime it with our lightning arrows. Take our 5 normal arrows out, put our 18 lightning arrows in. Okay, and we are out. Come in here and drop all of them in. We're going to do all 3 crafts at one time. Okay, everything is in. We stand back because this is dangerous. Boom. And there we go. It's in. It's been done. We should see everything come up in just a moment. There's 1, there's 2, and there is 3. This has been a massive success. All right. It is now time to update the board. Both the enchanting apparatus has been crafted in the previous episode and the lightning altar in this episode. You know, I'm going to say Heart of the Sea while we can make them now. Let's go ahead and cross that off. We have made them, but we still don't have a kelp farm or the glowstone bees. And if you remember, I was a bit frustrated with the glowstone bees because everything along the way seemed like, oh man, we're going to need more conduits, more conduits, more conduits. We now actually have a few more conduits. We probably could get into the glowstone bees the way that I had imagined them. But, again, thank you very much to the comments, because even though the quest book, remember, the quest book absolutely said that the normal beehives will not produce the modded combs. Look what's on the ground right here. I've been doing a little experimentation, all thanks to an individual who commented saying that they can actually drop. So what we have here is birch bee nest, right? This is just one of the normal bee nests that you find out in the world. You know, we've had this one here. We've had our beekeeper villager using it. But I've kind of set up a little automated system, and this is just for testing. We're going to make a bee building, I think, in the next episode. But there's still a few more kinks maybe to work out. This system works all right with shears, but the thing with shears is they have a durability, and eventually you will have to replace them. Resourceful Bees has an item called a scraper. The scraper does not have durability. It's also pretty easy to make, but the thing about the scraper that's different than the shears, when you use a shear, all of the items pop out at one time, but when you use a scraper, only one will pop out. So the way that I have this set up right now with a comparator, when this gets tier 5 honey, that means it's done. This signal will come all the way up here, and it'll, if you see, it has power 1 right now, because over here, honey level 1. When it gets to 5, it'll be far enough over here to power the dispenser. This works with shears. It'll shear everything. But if I put in the scraper, it'll only do 1, and we actually have to clear out all of the honeycombs before it can fill back up again. So we might have to create a system to frequently pulse a scraper that's in there. Either that, or we decide, we'll just use the shears and keep replenishing them through another system. Which we might do that. I haven't fully decided yet. The major problem with this design is, even though I have a hopper under here, it only grabs 1 item and the other 2, because three can come out of here at a time. The other 2 will pop out and hit the ground. So I think we're going to look into making a factory hopper. And the reason why is, well, first off, I really wanted to make like a vacuumulator, right? A vacuumulator picks up items from around. It's not too hard to make, so we might still go down this path. But the factory hopper seems like, if we read it, can transfer half sacks, max collection range, is what we care about, a 9x9. So it's kind of like a vacuumulator, honestly, because it has the multiple block collection section, and it's actually not that hard to make, really. It takes a hopper, and it takes some metal bars. Metal bars are just aluminum rods, which we already know how to make, and some flux dust. I didn't know how to make it, but it turns out it's not hard. We just have to take redstone, some obsidian, and go down to bedrock. Or a flux block, but we don't have flux block. So if we just go down to the bottom of the world, which we do have a hole that goes down there, we can make a whole bunch of this flux dust. So we'll make a factory hopper. Maybe we'll even make a few factory hoppers. So I think that is what's going to be in our next episode, setting up a bee farm. And I'm envisioning it going over here, and we're going to set the glowstone bees up at a minimum. But you know what? We don't just have glowstone bees. We have all of these. Forest bees, zombies, sooty bees, water bees, RG bees, normal bees, rocky bees, you know, everything. Icy bees. I think this might actually make ice. I'm not sure. So, next episode, initial bees. And that's going to get us the glowstone we need to craft more conduits. So I really hope that you enjoyed this episode. It was maybe slightly different than normal, right? We weren't just progressing in a mod, but we were crafting something of our own design, our own creation, to help us do more of the crafts that we need for more magical progress. And look at these fancy conduits in both of my hands. So please, I appreciate all of the comments that you put in there. Hope you're looking forward to the next episode. I think the bee farm is going to be a fun one. But this is Merc Serene, signing off.